This is a song that I first came across when I was about 12 to 15 years old, and it created a significant impression upon me. And from that day onwards, the lyrics stayed with me. And the meaning of the song, what came across to me was to dream the impossible dream. And what is the most impossible dream? Is to find out who you are, where you came from, and where you are going to go. They talk about God. At that age, you want to know where is God and who is God. And this song told me only one thing, that I have to fight the unbeatable foe. I came to realize the unbeatable foe is me, myself. And this is what people talk about, the 7 nafs, or the 7 sins that we are all born with. Those 7 sins are the foes. But are they really sins? No, they are not sins. They are just qualities of life. They are tools, just like any other tools that we use even for baking, ingredients that we need for baking a cake. Just like that, these are the tools that we as humans are all born with. There's no way we can do away without them, because these are the qualities of the greater omnipresent one. And since we are born from His image, which means we are born from His spirit, we have to carry those qualities just like His. But why do they become sins? It's just like a knife. When you use a knife to feed yourself, to cut vegetables, to cut fruits, to feed yourself, it serves a useful purpose. And it serves a purpose which enhances value to life. But at the same time, if you use the knife to kill somebody, to cut somebody, to hurt somebody, then you're using it for a destructive purpose. Likewise, the 7 nafs that everybody talks about and every 7 sins that they talk about is like a knife. If you apply it correctly, it is very useful and it contributes towards life. But if you use it negatively, it then becomes a destructive force. So, to say that we all have to get rid of it is stupid, because nobody can get rid of it, because you're born with it, and that's you. These 7 qualities makes you. Nothing can change it. And no matter how hard you try to change it and remove it, it can never be removed. You have to learn how to control it. You have to learn how to balance it. And to overpower all that, or to overshadow all that, is love. When you have love, when you have compassion, when you have mercy within you, these elements will automatically be balanced. Just like how you create balance in everything in life. Life is balanced. You see, the sun comes up every day at the preordained time. And at the preordained time, it comes up in various parts of the world, but not at the same time. Simple as that. Alright? Simple as that. And yet we do not look at these things. We are so caught up with doctrine. We are so caught up with so many other things. Whereas there are so many things within creation, within this universe, within this earth that speaks to us, which we do not observe, which we do not take into consideration. We take all these elements for granted, but these are the very elements that sustains our life, and none of the doctrines out there sustain our life. These elements sustain our life, and these are the elements which actually represents the omnipresent one. Nothing more and nothing less. And what this song means to me is to reach there. You have to go through various phases of your life, and you must be prepared to go through sorrow. Because why do you have to go through sorrow? Because you have to give up so many things, because from that 7 senses or the 7 nafs is what every other desire comes from. They are the roots. They are the ones that desire comes from. Greed is a desire. Greed doesn't mean only food. Greed means so many things. Greed for love, greed for a woman, greed for a man, and greed for clothes, greed for wealth. This is greed. If it's not contained, it goes out of control. And when you can't get greed, what happens? When you can't get what you want, what happens? You become angry. So anger comes into play now. They're all interrelated. And the more you can't get it, the more angry you become. The more you can't get it, the more angry you become. The more you can't get it, the more angry you become. So the anger grows and grows and grows. And what is anger? Anger is fire. It'll burn you. It'll destroy you. That's what it is. So if you can control the greed, there wouldn't be anger. You'll be able to control anger. But it's because greed initiates the anger. Out of greed comes envy. You become envious of somebody because you can't have something that you want. And therefore what happens? Anger comes in. And from anger, destruction, depression. All these are elements of anger. So, how do we have to overcome that? Because now you have to go through the sorrow stage to say that I have to let go. It hurts to let go something that you want so much. You can't have it. You can't have it because the law of nature says you can't have it. It's not because you're not capable of having it. Nothing to do with that. Because you're not in control of your life, are you? No, none of us are in control of our life. So, we will get what we deserve. And when we don't get what we deserve, we become depressed or we become angry. That's what it's all about. So, to overcome all these, it's not an easy task. It is not a task whereby we can just sit down and fast and get over it. No, fasting is what? Is self-discipline. Do you have to fast to develop self-discipline? No, you don't have to fast to discipline yourself. When you fast, you're hungry. When you're hungry, you become angry. It's a natural process. But a person who's fasting, who's in sorrow, he's not fasting. He just cannot eat because he's so sorrowful over something, whatever it may be. He cannot eat. So when he's in the sorrowful state and he cannot eat, even no matter how hungry he is, he's forgotten the hunger and he'll never get angry. But a person who is not in a sorrowful state and goes to and is in a state of hunger by fasting will get angry. So does it serve a purpose? No. So actual fasting is somebody who's in a sorrowful state, who doesn't want to eat, and that's natural. Lots of people do that. When they're upset about something, they're sorry about something, their husband dies, their wife dies, their child dies, they're so morose about it, they're so hurt about it, they don't want to eat, but they never get angry. You'll only see them crying and crying and crying. You see how they express it differently? Because they are in that state. So, this song engulfs the journey to discover yourself. And it expresses the journey of how painful it's going to be. And it says you have to march into hell. Are you prepared to march into hell? Are you prepared to really suffer? Because you have to suffer to let go whatever you are holding on to and whatever you want to have. To accept the fact that I will take what comes my way. I will let go what doesn't come my way because it's not meant to be. Can you get to that state? It's a painful state to get into because we are all driven to have credit cards because that is the yardstick to say who we are in this world today. We are all driven to have the best of cars in order to put out a name saying that this is who I am. This is what we are after today. Everyone is after this chase. To get a degree, to get a PhD, and when they don't get it, they get depressed, they get angry. But why is it that they can't understand that these are not important? What is most important is to first know yourself, who you are, to take control of yourself before you can take control of any of those other external elements. When you're not in control of yourself, how are you going to be in control of the elements that you want to undertake? And what is our purpose? Yes, our purpose is to do so many things. But first, what is the point of doing so many things when we can't even do something for ourselves? That is to take control of ourselves and know ourselves. So, it is not a simple journey. It is a tough journey. But this song has inspired me throughout my life. This song has been the prayer of prayers in my life. I focused on it. I willed it. And I allowed things and I learned things as they come along my way. Yes, there are times I fall, there are times I get up and I walk. And every time I fall, I learn something. And I get up and walk, I walk again. thinking, knowing that I will drop again and I will learn something again. And you must be prepared to do that. If you're not prepared to let go, you're not prepared to accept things the way they are, if you're not prepared to say that this is my destiny and I will live in it, but don't do it foolishly. Don't be somebody who sits in a chair and says, this is my destiny and I expect everything to come to me, because nothing will come to you. You got to go out there. You got to fall. You got to get yourself bruised up in your knees and whatever. But at all times, if you are rational and you are seeking Him to guide you, He is there to guide you. The omnipresent one will never fail you. He will always be there to guide you. But as the Bible and all the other scriptures say, seek and you will find. Are you prepared to seek? Are you prepared to be scarred to find the truth? Unless and until you are prepared to be scarred to find the truth, don't embark on this journey.